looks like we're going to start with the AFC North to give myself some time to do this AFC West because that is not right. So the AFC North looks like this: the Cincinnati Bengals, Steelers, Browns, and the Baltimore Ravens. Aaron, this is your first time really seeing all of our grades here. What kind of jumps? We're kind of almost even across the board here, right? This is fairly
wow.
Fairly fair, right?
It's I mean, it seems like we're all on the same page and we all kind of have the same mindset. The one thing that obviously jumps off is you have the Bengals having an A after you kind of questioned some of the moves of the Bengals. You questioned whether they were going to be a loser of free agency. And then all of a sudden, a week later, Bengals fans go in on Dylan. And now Vinny changes his tune. Are you afraid of Cincinnati Bengals fans?
I am not. Someone has to be someone on our show has to be likable by Bengals fans. We just have to reach everybody here, okay? No, but realistically, what I am, the way I view it here, and after I thought about it, and I'm trying to stay consistent here with my grades. And you'll see it through the rest of the show. Is I gave a higher grade to those teams that went out, assessed their needs, and went out and got. Now, obviously, we get a lot of hate from Bengals fans, how we discredit their defense all the time. And that's a fair assessment. That's why I didn't have them with an A+. I think I just left them with an A. What separated it from an A- to an A+ is the defense, not addressing it all the way there. But the fact that the Cincinnati Bengals went out and actually addressed every single one of their needs, and the players they got are not bad players. They're all good talented players. We talk about how the impact of Lyle Collins being their new tackle is huge for Joe Burrow. This is a team that went out and got better. This is a team that noticed the problems and went out and fixed it. And that's what we said at the beginning of all this is what the Bengals needed to do was address that offensive line and spend all of their money on the offensive line. That's what they did. So why is it not an A, even though they went out and did exactly what we asked them to do?
It's not just that. I think that's the point. They did go out and address the offensive line, which is why I gave them a high B. But we did mention, we haven't brought up some of the losses they had on that defensive side of the ball. I know they're not big names, but guys like Larry Ogunjobi, we talked about, a Trey Flowers, a Trey Waynes, a Vernon Hargraves. These are depth at the cornerback position, which they're already thin at. It leaves you basically three guys, Chidobe Awuzie, Eli Apple, and then Mike Hilton in the slot. And the fact of the matter is that they're very thin back there, and I worry about that depth, especially against AFC teams that have enormous talent on the outside. So it's not that they didn't do what they were supposed to do. Yes, they addressed the offensive line. Good for them. That's why I gave them a B+, but they still needed to improve that defense. The reason they need to improve a defense that was so good last year is because everybody else is also improving. And let's be honest, I don't care that Bengal fans hate it. They played the Raiders. They played the Titans in the playoffs. Not two of the best offensive football teams last year, really. I mean, and then they went and they held the Chiefs in the second half, but that first half was still ugly. Remember, that defense was getting exposed before they got locked down and made some adjustments. So there is still some worry there, but they did address needs, which is why I thought they deserved a B+.
Yeah, well, that's why I thought they deserved an A, and it's that because you'll see later on in my list that I do have teams that have A+, and it's really that's what separated them from an A to an A+ is that they didn't address the overall all their overall needs, and some of the guys there may not have been the best at their position, but still you can't complain about a team that has went out and gone and done what they needed to do.
I also wanted to point out I worry like they had so much cap space. What did they really do with that cap space? I know they got the offensive linemen, but those aren't high-priced guys. I believe they still have almost $20 million in cap space. I would like to see them use that effectively. Let's just say that. And again, there's still time. We're grading as of right now. The draft, they're going to address those needs, I'm sure, and maybe some other free agents. But as of right now, I think they could do a little bit more.
AJ?
I'm right there with Aaron. That's why my grade is as you see it there. I thought they needed to do more with that defense. As good as their defense was, I said it multiple times last year during the season. They're very opportunistic. You know, they made good plays when they needed to, and that's what separated them from some of the other defenses that are probably right on their same level. It's great that they were able to get that offensive line headed in the right direction. It's great that they brought back BJ Hill. I think he's a good guy for them. Franchise tagging Jesse Bates, but that secondary is going to need a lot of help. Eli Apple had to go out and tell people he'll be back stronger because he knows how bad he played last season. They need more, and that's just a fact of the matter. The offense of the NFL is getting better by the second. And if you don't have a defense that can, stay back in the secondary that can hold their own, you're going to have problems. And you're certainly not going to make it back to the Super Bowl with those three guys as your main cornerback. Let's not even talk about injuries.
Yep, I agree. Is there anything else that jumps out to you guys from this list that you want to bring up, that you kind of wanted to dive into on your grades on why? Like, obviously the Browns going out and get Deshaun Watson, that kind of would jump out to me, is why you didn't give them an A+, Aaron, because this is a Browns team that went out and got Deshaun Watson.
I did give them an A+.
Or AJ, you did not give them an A+. Why you did not give them an A+? And obviously this is
nitpicking, couple, a flip of the coin could have been the difference.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's more just I didn't really give many people an A+, and there could be multiple reasons. And part of this was Deshaun Watson's great. That's what got them the A. Amari Cooper helping that A for me. Fact of the matter is, Deshaun Watson's probably going to sit out 6 to 8 games, if not 10. And of course, for their future, that's going to be great. I think they needed some more help on the offensive line. Now they let go of J.C. Treader to get Deshaun Watson. Their defense is still questionable. What are you doing, Baker Mayfield? There's just some questions still around their team. I'm happy for what they did do, keeping David Njoku as well, but there's just some questions. You had to just blow me completely out of the water. And then if I want to be completely honest, I mean, I'm a little salty, man. The Falcons were the last team in the running. How the hell?
Yeah. Now we're getting to the real. Wait. This is like the conversation we had on the other day, Vinny. Now we're getting to the real root of the problem. It's a little homerism here because he did not get Deshaun Watson.
I started there.
That's what it is.
That was the first thing I put down, and then I went realistic with it. It's the smallest part. I'm not. I became the fact of the matter after I felt it.
Is being as young as Deshaun Watson is, a team that goes out and gets a franchise quarterback at that age, there wasn't no other way but to give him an A+. In my book. You get a franchise quarterback in his prime, basically that's a win always for me. I know they do, and you brought up some good points. They do have a lot of holes. They did lose Austin Hooper, Rashard Higgins, Jarvis Landry, J.C. Treader, Clowney, McKinley, Malik Jack. Like, they lost players, but they got Watson. So I couldn't go off that A.
Yeah, it's hard to go against that. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to touch on with this AFC North? Anybody?
I just had one other point, not really the whole team thing, is Baltimore would have been higher if they were able to keep Zadarius Smith. Yep. Losing him, I love the Marcus Williams, but the fact of the matter is they lost Zadarius Smith. They need that pass rush, so I had to move them down.
I didn't think they did enough.
Otherwise,
exactly. Yeah, I didn't think they did enough. Sorry, Baltimore Ravens fans, but I don't think you guys did enough to especially with the way things are going now. It's hard to find an AFC team that didn't go out and make if you look at all the AFC teams, there aren't that many that didn't go out and make a semi-big to big signing or a big move to push them over the edge. Really, even the bad teams, the Jets, the Jaguars, those type of teams, the Texans, all of them. I mean, they've made big time moves. So. Yeah. The Ravens did not.
Well, so, it's arguably because they were coming back healthy, right? They're bringing back a ton of players that didn't play last year, but they definitely could use some help on the outside and the back into that secondary at corner on the opposite side of Marlon Humphrey. They got the safety, but their pass rush is going to struggle.
Yep, we'll get there. Hold on, I'll finish this and you'll jump into that. The last one quick news. With Lamar Jackson's contract still up in the air, the money could have been a question of what they were going to be able to do and how they could structure it to sign other people.
They might want to keep that space open. I guess.
Yeah.